precious part in the whole story of my paralysis.
I know. Thank you so much. Well, so many of us did. And so I told you, I don't know how long I've been telling you, you got to write a book. You've got to write the book. And you were so thoughtful about wanting it to be perfect, about making sure. And what I think, and tell me if I'm wrong, that you wanted to close some of the gaps, that you wanted to be able to tell how the story ended, which of course was in success and miracles and all of that.
Right. Yeah, sometimes you feel like the story, you want to tell the story, but the story might not be over yet, and you're not exactly sure what that means. And boy, did that ever prove to be true in my life.
Well, so the book, everybody, is Sold Out by Amy Westbrook, okay? And it's Attain Your Next Level Life Despite Unexpected Consequences. Now, I read the majority of this book on the way to Arizona on the plane, and I was weeping. And of course now, like on Southwest, so like here's the picture. I got the mask on and stuff's drawing down my eyes, and there's a seat between me and the lady next to me who was very, very kind. And so I'm just going, she's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." I said, "This book just brings back so many memories, good and bad." And by the end, she was ordering a book, I can tell you that, on Amazon. Oh, our good friend Joe Ingram is on. And yes, Joe, I got your email here there a second ago. I'm doing a summit with him and his group I'm very excited about. But Amy, so tell us a little bit about Amy Westbrook, like where do you start on a story like this one? Where do you start? And by the way, everybody, if you're on here right now, and we've got a lot of people on here, share this story out. Share this one out. This is a story that everybody needs to hear. Hey, Vanjie, how are you? This is a story that everybody needs to hear, because it's not just the story, but it's the story of overcoming unintended consequences or outcomes. And so Amy's going to give us a roadmap, and then one step farther than that a little bit later on in the show. So share. Sharing is caring on this one.
Let's not forget, because I have a big surprise at the end before we close. But let's just trek the audience through here. I have a 35-year in sales and marketing. That has been what I have always done. Loved it, had a passion for it. But I've also spent 3 decades of living through traumatic, unexpected outcomes. And I don't know exactly why that has been the story of my life, but it has been. And what I realized is that moving through those traumatic, unexpected outcomes, I had developed inside of me principles and processes and truths that are universal, that can help anybody and everybody get through the consequences of unexpected outcomes, of feeling stuck, of feeling less than, not enough, or just feeling like you're just needing some inspiration, right, to get past your finish line, whatever that may be. And so I think that's one of the things, Lisa, that was happening inside of me as the book was not getting written. I was going through some more of life. So when I really sat down to write the book, I had this huge epiphany that, oh my gosh, every principle I'm writing in this book, everything I passionately want to teach people, and how they can transform their life, and how they can move through and out of chaotic situations. I had kind of been doing that all my life, various things that I had experienced. And of course, the book is predominantly about the ultimate for me, which was physical paralysis. I am a former paraplegic.
And former is the great word. So take us back to, we can't go all the way back, but we can go back with when you got that diagnosis.
Yeah. So I've always been the Energizer bunny, in my youth. I was a runner. I was, cheerleader. I was drill team. I was basketball. I was a hurdler. I mean, it just that fast, always on my bicycle, fast moving kid. And that followed me into my adulthood, where I was a wakeboarder and a rollerblader and, just still a runner all my life. Running was my therapy. And I woke up one day and realized that all that had been stolen. There was a tumor that was found inside the spinal cord. That takes people a little bit to register. Usually they think on the spine. I'm like, no, it was inside the spinal cord.
Wrapped it around the spinal cord.
Right.
And that's really important to know from.
Yeah, I think that, you got to get that picture, because that's the miracle of this. They literally sliced insides into my spinal cord and dug around inside the cord to determine what was cord and what was tumor to take out, because the tumor had ruptured. And in fact, where that tumor resided inside the spinal cord, my cord was the thickness of a piece of paper. It had worn it down. So, I mean, we were literally days away from me having a complete spinal cord injury, which certainly.
I mean, look at that. Can you imagine your spinal? I'm just trying to give you a visual. Your spinal cord being this thick as this piece of paper.
It's really unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And this thing was misdiagnosed. We had been to Johns Hopkins several times trying to figure out what to do. Nobody knew what to do, because other than the excruciating pain that I had, I was this full functioning female, and nobody.
Is this woman, wife, mother of a toddler? You owned a marketing and advertising agency. You handled all the marketing for a business that I owned.
Yeah. And then my husband and I at the time had just launched a custom home building company. I got a real estate license. I was handling marketing and investor relations. I mean, life was rocking. And all of a sudden, I find myself in the ICU as a paralytic. And my daughter had just turned 4 years old, I think 2 weeks prior to the surgery. So it was devastation, as you can imagine. I mean, nobody wanted to tell me what happened, right? I had to wait until the next day to get my husband back up to the ICU to tell me what on earth had happened inside that surgery room.
Right. So I was one of the many sitting in that waiting room. Many of your friends and your family and your husband and your father and your sister and pastors and your friends. And when that doctor came out and he said, it looks like a grenade has gone off in her back. And none of us even knew how to take that. Now, Amy, take us back to what year was that?
2007.
2007. God, we have been through a lot of years in life together, my friend. 13 years ago. Wow. Okay. And so take us to the next day in the hospital room when Greg and the doctor had to reveal to you.
Yeah. So the bottom line was that the surgeon came in and started talking. The surgeon assumed that everyone had told me that something had gone terribly wrong inside the surgery room. There was also a miracle inside the surgery room that nobody knew about. We didn't know about that yet. And he just began to talk about me ever walking again. And I could see in his face that he was hoping that I would walk again. And I was laying in that bed, morphine induced, staring at him thinking, what on earth? I want to run again, walk. What are you talking about? And so he said, what I found is not what I expected. It was not this. It was an ependymoma tumor that had ruptured and had caused a massive amount of damage inside the cord, and he just wasn't sure what was going to happen, and that they were going to send me to the rehab hospital. This was Thanksgiving, and he said, I know you'll be there past Christmas. And indeed, I was in the rehab hospital for over 2 months, where a lot of miracles transformed very, very quickly, and God had his hand in my life from the very beginning.
So you talked about a miracle on the operating table. Tell us about that.
So going into surgery, we knew that I had a condition called hydromyelia. And what that is in layman terms is when the tumor opens up a gap inside the spinal cord, it fills with fluid. And because there's fluid flowing all the way through there. So when a tumor disrupts that, this hole can fill, and it is very hard to get it to heal. And a lot of times you have to put a stent inside of there. If you can imagine a stent inside the spinal cord, like I don't even know. But the surgeon had warned us about that, and he just said, look, let's hope that it heals. We don't want to go down that pathway. So as I was getting released out of the rehab hospital, we went to see the surgeon that I had not talked to in depth yet, really. and he assessed me, and he began to talk a little bit about the size of the tumor and just various questions that we had. And as we almost walked out the door, he said, "Oh my gosh, I got to tell you something. You know that hydromyelia that you had?" He said, "When we pulled the brunt of the tumor out of your spinal cord, that hole shut before our very eyes."
I remember that now.
He said, "We have never seen that." He said, "That was incredible." And my husband and I just looked at each other, and we are people of faith, and we knew that that was my miracle. I was given back a much greater ability to heal. Now, since then, I've been through 1,100 therapy sessions, but at least I could do the therapy sessions, right?
Well, Amy, so talk to us about, because people think 1,100 therapy sessions. Like, y'all, this is a gal who doesn't give up. She never says, "Why me?" She never quits fighting. What do 1,100 therapy sessions, what does that look like over the last 13 years?
Right. Over the last 13 years, that means week in, week out, week in, week out, week in.
You never quit. When you're tired, when you're sore, when you don't feel good, when you feel hopeless, you're not going to go on. You still keep going. You do it scared, which is my keynote on Friday, by the way.
You do it scared. You do it hurt. You do it energized. You do it excited. You do it pissed. You do it regardless. And there's 3 things that I teach in my book, and that is 3 strategies you can use that will put you ahead of most of the population, and that is to show up and speak up and grow up. And that's what 1,100 therapy sessions looks like. You show up, you speak up, and you have to grow up. I mean, with a level, when you want to rise to the next level in your life, in your faith, in your business, you have to let go of something to go up, right? And so that's maturity. And maturity is something that nobody wants to hear because it involves discipline. I mean, those words are interchangeable. So it takes a lot of discipline, and it takes a lot of commitment and dedication, declaration out of your mouth, and then a decision that I made in the ICU that carried me through to this very day that we are talking today. And that's all in my book.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Joe Ingram said, "It's the grow up part that gets me every time." Okay, so talk to us about growing up, because I think that's important, right? So how did you grow up? And you were 40 years old when this happened. How did you were a mom, a businesswoman, a wife, you were everything. How did you grow up through this?
I think that one of the things, this is one of the chapters in my book where the rubber meets the road. I don't mess around, and we just have to get real with each other. And the bottom line is, if you're reading my book, you want your next level somehow, some way. And if that is the case, then we got to get real. And one of those things is growing up. I talk about false coping mechanisms that only sends you down, spiraling down. False coping mechanisms are, men, women, shopping, alcohol, drugs. I mean, we could all sit here and list, 50 of them. But you got to get rid of your false coping mechanisms so that you know what you are really left with, what the substance is that you are dealing with inside of you.
Right.
Nothing happens externally, Lisa, until it happens internally. Nothing happens external. It all is an inside job. And so we keep fighting for these external things in our life unsuccessfully. And it's because we don't realize that it's all internally based. And so we got to do personal growth to get professional development. But, those sessions, growing up, not asking why, Lisa, whining, but then getting back up on the horse. I mean,
I never saw you whining in 13 years. You might have done it in your head, but you never did it in front of your friends and family because you were so determined to walk again, and because you were high heeled. But we'll go down that in a minute.
And it's sold out. You're sold out. You are sold out to the destination. That's the purpose of the book. Mind, will, emotions, laser focused on the goal that you set for yourself. And then you stop self-sabotaging. You stop betraying yourself by not doing what you promised yourself that you would do. And it doesn't mean you don't cry, and it doesn't mean that you don't have to course correct along the way. But what it does mean is that you stop betraying yourself and you believe, you get your head trash fixed. For me, growing up had a lot to do with just really learning about how our mind functions and how we can clean up the trash in our brain that's been pre-programmed, so that now you have a new program that serves you way, way better than the old crap that you're stumbling over as you try and walk out of paralysis.
Right. Okay. And so for those of you just jumping on, I've got Amy Westbrook, author of Sold Out, available on Amazon, hot off the press, probably the best book and I've read in I don't know how long.
Aww.
And so she is an author, she is a speaker, she is a business and sales expert and strategist, and she's here today sharing with us the tips of how she overcame being were you a quadriplegic or paraplegic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's all. Just a paraplegic. Okay. And how she walked again, both in life and her faith. And I just want you to share this out. There's somebody out there right now that needs to hear this, and they may not see it right now. And if you're catching this on the replay, please, please listen to the whole thing and then share it with somebody that you love that needs to be encouraged. Okay. So Amy, you are 2 months out of the rehab, because there's a lot of details in between it that, you know what, people, you're going to have to read the book. You're just going to have to read the book to get the details. So let's fast forward. Oh, Christy got it. Christy's a friend of mine. Yay, I got the book. I can't wait to read it. And also, if you like my hair, Christy does my hair. And she's got another project she's working with me on. So anyways, that being said, take us a little bit full circle, because I don't want to give everybody everything today. They've got to read the book.
Yeah.
You know?
So I think that the book is incredibly inspirational. Let me tell you, the story is incredible. It is. It's a miraculous story of how I walked out of my wheelchair. But what I'm saying to people at this point is the story's great, but I wrote the book not to be about me, but to be about you. I always wanted to teach my book. I wanted to use my story to flip the script on your story and write it in such a way that you're able to take everything that I used that helped me, apply it right to your life in real time. And from the people that are reading it, I think I accomplished that. That's the feedback I'm getting, is that they're able to take every principle that I used and not just getting out of physical paralysis, because I do talk about the past 3 decades in my life of other traumatic things I've had to live through and find my way out of, thrive out of that. And if you know anything about me, I am not a status quo girl. It drives me crazy. I am a next level lifer.
And I will tell you, Renee and I wrote about you in our book 4 years ago, Crushing Mediocrity. Mm-hmm. And you were a chapter in our book, and, you know, and just on how do you overcome, like with such grace. Mm-hmm. And you, and I remember when Renee was interviewing you for that chapter, and you know, Renee and I talked about it that night, and she said, I said, God, she's like, God, Amy needs to write a book. She said, but she said, she asked you, and you said you weren't ready to write the book yet. You weren't there. And I think it's because this is not just a book about your story. This is a book to help people. And it's, you know, a system may not be the right word, but it is a system. Right, it is a way. Like you tell people, y'all, this book is amazing. You tell people what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and almost like the cadence of success, right? This cadence of pulling yourself out of your darkest despair, overcoming, and coming back triumphantly.
That's it. And look, it can be, I've used these principles in my faith journey, you know, in the overhaul of my faith journey. I used it when I had to go back to work full time and I wasn't expecting that. I used it in my sales business. I have used it coming out of as a very young woman being lost in drugs and alcohol and abuse. I looked back and realized that even then I was using these principles and I didn't even realize it. And so be encouraged that if you are looking for a way that is going to prove successful for you trying to get from point A to point D to point F, you know, you're trying to move your life along and you feel stuck and you're sick of going around the same mountain over and over and over.
But Amy, people do that all the time. They do it. It's like, you know, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So I look at On the back of the book, I always love the back of the book. When I got involved in church at a heavy level, 20 years ago, I was one of these. I'm like, well, I just want to read the last chapter. I want to know how this whole thing wraps up, and then I'll go back into how it was all created. Me, right? Which is not good. I'm not saying that tongue in cheek, but that's where I was at the time. So, it says, shockingly honest and down to earth, sold out. And y'all, it's spelled sold, SOULED, your soul, right? Not sold, SOLD. So number one, you're going to clarify the reason you keep falling short of what you have promised yourself. Mm-hmm. How many people, it's like, oh, I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to go on a diet. I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to get my real estate license. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they don't do it. Then they're disappointed, right? And they blame the world.
Right.
Expose why, no matter how hard you try, you remain in an endless loop, never quite getting across the finish line. Provide tested and effective tools to rid yourself of frustration. Okay, that right there is worth the book. If I can just learn not to be frustrated, not even with myself as much as other people. Disappointment, self-sabotage, hidden barriers, self-doubt, and yes, it is possible to be smart and successful, but stuck. Will you expand on that, please? I think that's really important.
I think that when we reach a certain point in life, we think we're supposed to know it all, have it all figured out. We think that the people that are watching us assume that is where, that we need to have it all together. And the fact of the matter is, I have learned by talking to hundreds and hundreds of women that it's not the case. And what happens is then you put all that trash in isolation and it just grows and grows and grows. And here's the thing, you think it's in isolation, but people see it. And you yourself are held down from that next great thing, from that next promotion. You're not leading your team at the uttermost level that you could be. And I'll say it again, you're looking for external successes, but you need some internal shifts. Some of us need internal overhauls, and I've done that too. Lisa, one thing I can say for everybody listening is if you want to learn from somebody that has road tested just about every slip up and failure and taken on, a life's betrayal and just all kinds of crazy stuff. I have road tested this stuff. So I'm not just talking, about something that I think sounds good and that it feels good. I am telling you everything in this book is road tested.
Road tested and mother approved. What do they say? Well, I can tell everybody watching this that I have been on this journey with Amy for 13 years since the surgery, but prior to that, so probably 15, 18 years, a very long time.
15, so 17 years.
Yeah. And so I know everything that she says to the point where the quotes in the book, that's why I was weeping. Like those quotes, I was there when the doctor said those exact words. Like I saw everything. I mean, I had a front row seat to this, and there was parts of it I didn't want a front row seat. It was so upsetting and sad and disturbing. And what I think now is I've got a front row seat to somebody who has just come up out of the flames and said, no more. And not only have I risen, but I'm now going to share it with other people because Amy, we live in a world of broken people. We live in a world of people that are frustrated, sad, paralyzed, maybe not physically paralyzed.
Right.
But they're paralyzed in their soul, in their life, in their business, in their relationships, and they need a roadmap. And that's what you've got. So again, you want any more of these stories, my dear friends out there? Buy the book.
Buy the book.
Cost you a whopping, what, $15? I don't even know what the book costs.
I think
I ordered 10 of them though, so I know that they're coming to give out.
You're listing all those things. I just spoke with a woman this past weekend, and she was talking about she was hung up on some stuff in life. Super successful. This woman has done some really incredible things with her life, and she's kind of transitioning. I talk a lot about transition. I mean, my friends, I can't tell you how many transitions I have had to go through to be where I'm at today. So transition is a huge topic that I talk about in the book, and that I'm going to train on in my course that's coming up. But she was trying to unravel what was going on with her. And that's kind of what I love to help people do. My heart is that you get rid of the trash in your life so that you can go on to do whatever the amazing purpose is that you have for your life. What is your God destiny? That's the destiny you want to live. But Lisa, when she started talking, she realized that her hang up was perfectionism. And she's like, I would have never called myself a perfectionist, but it was classic perfectionism that she was stuck on. And in my book, that's a syndrome, that's a disease that I have dealt with all my life, and I'm finally taking the medicine and I'm getting cured from it. But I talk a lot about perfectionism. And so that's kind of some of the things that can happen if you read the book and then go on to take the course, is just to unravel, like, what is it? Even if you can't put your finger on it, but you know there's more for you. You're just not attaining it, and you can't figure out why.
Right. And so, and you're going to, Joe Ingram, who is our resident fun guy. We love Joe Ingram. He says, there's the next book, The Vision of the Phoenix, How to Rise from the Ashes. I agree with him. Mm-hmm. And so what, another piece to the book, right, is that reveal why transition scares you to death. And that's why Amy's transition recipe might be just what you need. There are just people that no matter, they're almost afraid to come out of it, because then all of a sudden they don't have an excuse anymore. Yeah. It isn't poor pitiful me. It's not I am a victim. It's not, oh, my boss fired me. It's not, oh, such and such let me down. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, they've got to look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, I don't care who you are, every one of us on this feed who will watch this show that we know has had that moment of reckoning when you've looked in the mirror and said, man, I can do better than this.
Right.
I'm better than this.
And it's like, how bad do you want it? That's the classic question. How bad do you want it? And if you want it bad enough, because I've walked this over and over and over, how bad do you want it? And then you've got to take action. I wanted to write this book for 10 years. I wanted it. I wanted it so bad. I could taste it. I could see it. I wanted it. I had a vision. I wrote here and there, but I didn't then take a step of action. And so we got to take a step of action, and then we got to build habits. And habits, when I got the epiphany, Lisa, that goals are not habits and habits are not goals, when I got that, because in sales and marketing, I've been a goal setter all my life. But I had this epiphany about a year ago that habits are not goals. And I began to put habits down step by step by step, where I could see them in my bathroom, and I had them literally on a physical calendar where I saw them every day, and I scheduled it out until it became comfortable. And in the beginning, I got to be honest, I hated it. It was uncomfortable. It was discipline. It was ooh. But then all of a sudden, I started seeing this, the proof, right, of what it was producing in my life. And so for those people who are listening, and who Lisa just described, you got to have a soul talk with yourself and come to the decision, which is the main kickstart chapter in my book. You got to make a decision. Indecision is your enemy. You must make a decision and then take action on it.
Yeah, you do. And I will tell you, this is not us preaching at everybody out there. Every one of us who will watch this has had that day of reckoning. Some of us have more days of reckoning than others. Yeah. That's okay too, right? Because it's that thing called life that we go through, and we're all in different stages at different levels at different times in life. And I love what it says. It says, with commitment, diligence, and a powerhouse mindset, anyone can transition through devastating experiences. That's a bold statement, Amy, that I'm going to let you back up in a minute. You can champion your life to its next level. If you are deeply purposed to attain your next level life, whether you're looking for a second, third, or even fourth chance, or maybe for some of you watching, a 400th chance, start reading and say hello. I love this, to the next level you, right? So every one of us is good. We are worthy. Like, you don't have to be a different person. It's just going next level, and how your world will open up when that happens.
Yes. And you know what? This is my favorite part of all of this. The last sentence, I love it. It is my favorite sentence on the back cover copy. It just fires me up, because I believe with all my heart. And Lisa, this is where my faith enters in. And you're going to find out, you guys, that this book is full of faith. I can't separate my life story from my faith. It's all one. And so I just thank the listeners and the students in advance for allowing me to be transparent and be who I am, which is a woman who is full of faith and can't do life without that. It is my sounding board. It's my launch pad. And so I do believe that everything is overcomable. But I do also believe that that statement cannot be true unless there is a higher power attached to that. All these principles help you overcome, but you've got to have a higher power attached if you're going to live out this true statement, which is everything is overcomable.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so without further ado, I think everybody out there gets it. You know, Amy has lived it, she's walked it, she's breathed it, she's overcome it. She has literally written the book. And this was not a 3-year journey. This was not a 5-year journey. It was 13 years since she had the surgery. But when you read the book, you're going to find out that was pushed farther back than that. This is probably half of your life if you really want to get down to the brass nuts because of the pain and the injury, like all of it, right?
Yeah.
And so anyways, that being said, talk to us. Following up from Nairobi, Kenya. Oh, I love Kenya. I've got so many friends that are from Kenya. Bisem. Anyway, so look, people from all over the world are tuning in. So Bisem, you
have such a heart for Africa. Like I've been to Rwanda and spent 2.5 weeks there on a women's.
I remember when you did that.
Yeah, I have the biggest heart for Africa.
Yeah, no, wonderful, wonderful country. So anyways, the rest of the story, y'all, you're going to have to read the book. You know, there are not enough hours to cover 20 years. You got to get the book. It's $14.95. One of our people on there obviously checked it out. It's on Amazon. The name of the book is Sold Out by Amy Westbrook. I just got this light. My light's kind of glaring. But Amy, what do they do next? They get the book.
All right. Well, I have a big announcement. I have a huge announcement.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we were going to do a book club experience, an amazing thing with the book, and it's still going to happen, but we pushed it to January because the books were coming out slow, and then we were going to be into the holidays, and I said no, let's just push it to January. But Lisa, I sat on that for about a week, and I was like, no, you know what I'm going to do? I am personally myself going to walk everybody through my course that wasn't going to be released until next year, a mini version of that. So we're going to go through the book in the month of October for 5 weeks. And I am going to personally take you through. We are going to have a live session every week. We're going to have Q&As on the weekend. And then I'll be sending little videos and messages that will help with the curriculum each week. And I am so excited. And so what I want people to understand is that we're going to talk about how to have power over perfectionism. We're going to talk about how to have a plan to dismantle fear and anxiety. We all have fear and anxiety. We know we have it, but we don't have a plan. It's just like, oh my God, I have so much fear. Okay, well, what's your plan? So we're going to talk about a plan, and we're going to talk about what to do about when you do fall short of. So we're going to go through everything you and I just talked about. We are going to put that into action with exercises, and I'm going to, obviously there's untold stories, right, of the ER, and we'll go into those too, and it's going to be an amazing time. Now, the one in January, I won't personally facilitate, but this one I am. And so what I want to do, y'all, it's so hot off the press that we don't even have a link for it. So if you want to take this course, 5 weeks through the month of October, it is going to be an epic October. I'm telling you, it's going to change your life. And now that I can guarantee, it's going to change your life. So you're going to have to email me and say, I want the course. Then I will send you the link. So you're going to email me at Amy.
Hold on. I'm putting it out. Hold on. To take the course. And it's a 5-week course?
Yep.
A 5-week course live with Amy.
Yeah, so go to just email me. I want the course at Amy at Live with Amy. So Amy at livewithamy.com, and then I will send you the link. We'll have the link tonight. It's getting built today, y'all. We just made this decision. And then the other thing.
Amy, hold on one second, sweetheart. Just tell me the email again.
My name, Amy.
I know. Okay.
At Live with Amy.
At Live with Amy. Email. I want. So we have to remember, because some people might be catching this on a replay too. I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're listening to it, in a few days from when we've recorded it, then the link will be up. But let's just do it this way for this audience. It's fine. And then I'll shoot that link out to you. You get signed up. And then the other thing is that for you, Lisa, because I love you, we're going to do a buy one, get one. So if you will email me, then you get to bring a friend for free. So you can share it with a friend and they can take the course for free. So
go.
go.
Hey, okay. I'm putting it on all the comments. So we're sure to get it.
I can't, Lisa, I have a deep dive course coming in 2021, but I can't wait. My book is out. I've done it. And there's so much
people read it.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much stirring in me that I want to help people. And this is going to help you. This is going to help you. I'm telling you, I don't care whatever your next level is that you're looking for. Trust that you will find some answers in this course and get yourself signed up. So you're going to personally email me, Amy, Live with Amy. I want the course. You can bring a friend and I will shoot you the link. And we're going to have a ton of fun in October.
Can we talk about what the price of this private coaching course is?
Yeah. So this is going to be kind of a founding members kind of group, everybody that gets in on the very beginning, because what's about to happen is that I'm about to start launching a product suite that kind of just goes deeper and deeper for those people that want more and just want more, discovery in their life and that kind of thing. And so we're going to start with this course. Founding members, I'm going to cut the price in half. It's going to be I'm not kidding, $67. Yeah.
A week?
No.
Total
for the month of October.
My goodness. I'm kind of speechless right now. Your friend over here is going, that's way too cheap, but also I know you're not doing it for the money.
Well, it's so cheap, but I want you to get in now, because what's going to happen is it's obviously the price is going to quadruple in the next couple of months. And we're going to beta test a few things. And so that's one of the reasons I thought, you know what, I'm going to drop the price, because I'm going to toss in some curriculum that is actually going to be in the deep dive course and see how people gravitate to that and see how helpful it is to them. And so there'll be a little bit of beta going on here in this course, but we'll journey through the book together. We will talk about the principles, and this is
for men and women.
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, because you had said earlier women, and I meant to jump in there, because when women, everyone gets stuck. And the thing, I want to give you all a little bit about Amy's history and the fact that she's a journalism major. She has done counseling. She has led large women's organizations and churches. And, so she's not somebody out there who's just like, hey, I wrote a book and I'm going to take you on a journey. She's highly trained and has been through and understands what it is to be an executive coach, what it is to be a personal coach and spiritual leader and things like that. And I think that's important. So people know that when they get in there with you, and that the curriculum is very well written, as is the book, due to, her life experiences, but also her journalism background. That's
I come from a long line of teachers, and I never wanted to be a teacher. And then you look at my life now, like all I want to do is teach. I mean, it's the passion of my heart is to teach you and help you get free. I have a 501c3 that I formed many, many, many years ago for women. That's why I'm kind of accustomed to saying women. But that whole entire ministry was formed to help you get free from the things that bind your abilities and your beliefs, so that you can go on and live out your destiny. And so my passion is to help you get free, so that then you can go do what you know that you're called to do. And a lot of people aren't sure. And so we are going to talk about purpose, Lisa, in this study. And really, maybe people are stuck because they're just like, I want to go, I want to take action, but I don't even know what action to take because I don't know my purpose. And so we'll talk a little bit about that as well in this program.
And I'm a firm believer. I've written 2 books. And of course, one of them, which Crushing Mediocrity, which Amy, Renee and I told Amy's story, but both of my books start with purpose. If you don't know why, if you don't believe that what you do matters, then you've got to start there, because that's the only thing that'll push you through on the toughest days.
Yeah.
The hardest, toughest days are when you get up and you look in the mirror and you're like, I want to quit. Screw this. I hate these people, whatever it may be. But why did I start? Because you can't finish something if you don't know why you started. Right. And so I think that's great. And so I think that alone, like I'm just sitting here, Anthony's writing $67, tremendous value. Lachelle, like everyone is like, wow, unbelievable. And because for you, it's never been about the money. And so just the fact, because the next set of courses, y'all, that come out, you know, it's just like with anything, you're not going to get the founder. You know, Amy's got people that'll be working with her on it and that kind of stuff. And so for the $67, will it be a private Facebook group? Will it be a Zoom? Have you decided any of that yet?
I haven't decided all of that. What I do know is that I will be live Zoom on the Saturday Q&As, and then Thursdays from noon to 1 is when I'll do the live video training. It'll also then be housed for you to go and replay it if you need to. And then there'll be some pre-recorded videos that I shoot out via email. Okay, so those kinds of things are going to go on. I just want it to be really, I want it to be super interactive. I need people to be interactive. I'm going to ask everybody participating that's paid this low, low, low price, that the payback to me would be that you would participate, that you would give very good feedback, that you would engage, so that when I take it to the next level, we know that we are serving our audience with the things that are most important to them.
And we're going to serve them for a lot more money. So you know that I need a link. I will be in the class along with all of you, because I would not miss this, because again, I had a front row seat to this. And so I'm really excited to see how it plays out. So I'm your first student, and I will try to get my daughter Alex to do it with me, who Amy knows very, very well. Alex was Lauren, Amy's daughter's first babysitter.
Yeah, and now my daughter wants to babysit the grandkids.
Yeah, exactly. And now Lauren's, it's just like life is just so full circle. So everybody out there, please share this out. Please make an investment in yourself. I will be in the group with you. I'm super excited to go on this journey and to give feedback and just to be a better me. And somebody said, and I'm sorry for the ones that say Facebook user, that's because you're coming in on one of our other groups and you're not registered yet with StreamYard, but great stuff, great interview. Love you two ladies, whoever you are. Anyways, show your support for Amy, show your support for yourself, right?
Yes.
We're coming out of the toughest times.
Yes, say yes to you. Stop putting yourself on the back burner. This is not a deep dive course, but it's still going to be radically influential in your life. And so say yes to this mini course. It's 1 month. It's the month of October. You can pull it off.
You can do it. You can do it. We will be your cheerleaders. Oh, it's Christina.
Oh, hi, Christina.
Okay. Well, Christina, I know you're signing up, girl, because I am. Okay. So anyways, all right, everybody, we love you. Thank you for tuning in today. Amy, as always, it is a complete blessing and honor to catch up with you. I'm so proud of you. And I know that you're going to, you and your book, available on Amazon, people, $14.95. That's where you start. Christina Underwood. Well, Christina, we know it was you when she said Christina.
Yeah.
Anyways, so this is where you start. And get registered for the course. I will be involved. I know Christina Underwood will also.
And let me say, Lisa, we're starting October 1st. We've got, almost 10 days. The book's taking several days to come in. So order your book today, regardless of what you do. Get the book now. So
can you see it live on Amazon? Because I ordered 10 of them, but I had this one to read, so I didn't even try to download the book.
Oh.
I don't know, whatever. But just remember, all books are behind.
Yeah,
I know all books are behind. So here's someone else saw the whole thing. Oh, that was probably Christina also. Yeah. Anyway, because Christina was in that room also with me and Susan Hurley and just a bunch of us. Yeah. All right, Amy, we love you. We support you.
Thank you, Lisa, so much. And you guys, you can do this. Stay strong, and you can thrive out of unexpected outcomes. I'm telling you, I promise you. Take heart, take a breath, breathe. You got this.
All right.